We'll call this meeting to order. Today is March the 9th, 2023. You call the roll, please.
Mr. Holloway.
Here.
Mr. Matheson.
Here.
Ms. Reese.
Here.
Mr. Robinson.
Here.
Mr. Payne.
Here.
Mr. Gentry.
Here.
Okay, let's stand for a moment of silence and then the pledge. And Mr. Matheson, if will you lead the pledge for us?
Yeah. Turn.
Mr. Matheson.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, recognition of visitors and their delegates. We have the scope conference, Braden.
So we got to take another trip to Scope this year, and that's me and Vanessa. We got to take the Student Congress on Policies and Education, and they held it in Nashville. This was my second time, and it was your first. There is some of the pictures that she got to take. They held it on Belmont campus. They're down there in Nashville. So we had the main part about Scope is a debate at the end of it, and we had 4 topics this year. Our first topic was the board shall have 2 students representatives who serve in a non-voting role. And then our second was students shall have the option of substituting club sports for physical education requirements. And our third was submitting electronic threats shall be a zero tolerance offense. And our fourth was every student must have a career readiness assessment as part of a local graduation requirement. So they broke us up into 16 different groups, and we got to go in and talk. Each group was given certain positions. Like my group was given a con on the debate for, so we had to come up with an argument on why we don't think a career assessment should be a local graduation requirement. What was your group session on?
I was group 3, and we had to be pro for that policy.
And so this is just kind of what it looks like. When we were preparing for debate, we had brainstorming and stuff on the whiteboards. That was our argument on number 4, and we, like I said, brainstorming. Then after lunch, we began piecing together our argument, including counterclaims, and then we met with our other debate member to see what arguments they would be speaking on.
This slide is an overview of some of the activities we did. We began with an opening ceremony, and then we split into the groups. And we held a mock board meeting, and then, like Braden said, we prepared our debates on some of the policies.
So some of the key speakers was actually the president of TSBA, Candy Morgan. And then we also had the dean of Belmont University come in and speak for just a few minutes. He talked about the college. And then Ms. Candy Morgan was talking about the scope and then how TSBA helps all those school boards get together and create policies.
Here are a couple of things I learned from this conference. First, I learned that your vote counts. It's very important to vote in everything that you can. Your words also matter. For example, when we were learning about our debate topic, it said shall be a zero tolerance offense and not maybe or might be. And another thing I learned is that in life you have to have conviction and know what you believe in and where you want to go. And with this comes traffic of people's thoughts, but you can navigate through that.
What I learned, Scope is an amazing opportunity to learn about cooperation and communication, and really my favorite aspect was meeting like-minded people who are actively interested in policy and decision making. Thank you guys. I really appreciate the opportunity to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job.
Braden Gentry and Vanessa Perkins. Sorry, I didn't mention you to start with. I didn't know you was coming up. Thank you, guys. Great job. Let's give them a hand.
I would like to thank the board for allowing us to have a student board rep and an alternative, and letting them go to Scope, because it's a great event. It is.
All righty. Also, Johnson County Youth Football, to use the Johnson County High School football field for the 2023 season.
Yes.
Want to speak?
We're gonna start in July. The 17th actually will be our first practice date, and we should be done by the middle of October. So we just needed to make sure we could use that facility up there at the high school.
And it's just for your games, correct?
Correct, yes.
This for
Just for
game?
Saturday games.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And we've only, in the years of past, we've only had between 3 and 4 games.
Okay.
And I did talk to the new coach, and he said that we may actually be able to come up there and practice a little bit on the track side. So. No. That's still under.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do we need to approve that, or, okay?
We always just get a, not a roll call, but just a verbal, like, yes, they can.
Does anyone have any questions for them, the football league?
I don't.
Just want to show hands to allow them? Show hands. All right, thank you. All right, now on to the consent agenda. Is there anything on there we need to pull off and talk about? Anyone have anything?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
All right, we have a motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second
Okay, and a second. Call roll, please.
Mr. Holloway,
it. Yes.
Mr. Matheson,
Yes.
Ms. Reese,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
Mr. Payne.
Yes. All right, consent agenda approved. Now, Braden, we're gonna put you to work again, your report.
I would just like to start by thanking all of those who bought cheese for the NTHS fundraiser. It was amazing. Our top 3 sellers were Kayla Sluter, Mackenzie Poe, and Hannah Fritz. The robotics team is looking forward to next year's season, and any student 8th through 11th grade can join. Please come out and show your support for the Longhorn softball and baseball teams as they begin your seasons, and then seniors, be on the lookout for local scholarships and opportunities to advance.
Thank you. Okay, number 6 on the agenda is the first reading of TSBA required recommended change for the following policy, and it's policy 6.200, their attendance policy.
And what this is this is a requirement now with the 3rd grade promotion retention law with their attendance policy that students who have to attend summer school based on the 3rd grade law have to attend at least 90% of the time. They can only miss, 2 days. So we did have to put that in our policy. So that is required.
Okay, since that's the first reading, we'll take a second look at that, and we'll vote on that next meeting. And item 7, first reading of Johnson County Board of Education Policy Committee recommended change on the following policy, and that's policy 4.700, our testing program.
And this is a requirement that we have to put in there in regards to testing of homeschool students who want to come back into the school system, that they have to take a placement test to see where they fall. So this is a requirement.
Okay, again, that's first reading, so take a second look at it, and we'll vote on it next meeting. Item 8 on the agenda, approve 60-month lease agreement between Johnson County Middle School and Sharp Business Systems for Risograph?
Risograph.
Risograph,
Yeah.
all righty.
And this is, they already have a Risograph. This is just to approve a 60-month lease, and this comes from their funds.
Okay. That, we're gonna need a motion and a second on. Anybody have any questions on that, or wanna make a motion?
I make a motion to approve
Okay,
the lease agreement.
motion by Ms. Reeves.
I'll second.
And we have a first and second. Call roll, please.
Mr. Holloway,
Yes.
Mr. Matheson,
Yes.
Ms. Reese,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
Mr. Payne.
Yes. All right, here's something we've been waiting for a long time. Number 9, discuss and approve bid proposals for the Roan Creek Elementary HVAC controls funded through the ESSER 2.
Just turn that over to
All
Leon.
righty, Leon.
Okay, as you know, Roan Creek Elementary has had issues system. These proposals are proposed to take care of the VAB boxes, the air handlers that's in the classrooms. We had 3 bids. We solicited several places, received 3 bids back. And as you can see on there, the lowest bid, I think, was HSC of like around $199,000, and then it progressed up from there. If you have any specific questions, I'll be glad to answer those for you.
I guess our maintenance crew, they have any input on that? Are they all good with it? Is that something we can maintain and handle?
Yeah, I think we feel comfortable. Dustin and myself, we went down to Washington County Schools yesterday and visited their maintenance department. They just had the automated logic controls installed. They've had some in their schools since the mid-90s, and they've had good service, and they just updated some to the newer versions back about 6 months ago. And then they also just approved to do 6 more schools with the same controls. They showed us the graphics, kind of the basics of what it would look like. We'll be able to put an app on our phone, be able to control those from wherever. The last system that they had, which is over 20-some years old, there was just one laptop. We didn't have really a lot of control over it. You could see kind of what was going on. We could make the set point changes and stuff that needed to be. And in some cases, if you looked on that computer program, it would show a classroom being a certain temperature, and then we would go on site and it wouldn't be accurate. And you just can't get parts for it. So that's the main reason is that we want to take care of the airflow situation the best we can there at Rock Creek.
Okay.
And what's the time frame for them to complete this?
Mid-June.
And when would they start?
They said it would be sometime late May, mid to late May. It was once, one of these are approved, or if you guys choose to approve one, the lower bid said that their product is, 6 to 8 weeks to get those in. They do have some on hand now, but to get the amount that they would need for the full installation would take about that time frame.
So,
Well, I'd like to know what's the administration's recommendation here.
what do you recommend, Leon?
Her recommendation is to go with HSC controls. That was the low bid, and I do think that provides what we need at this point to take care of that situation the best we can.
Okay. What's your pleasure? Need to do something down there. Here, a motion we approve the lowest bid. Anyone want to make that motion?
I'll so make that motion.
Okay, Mr. Holloway makes a motion, we accept the HSC bid for $199,623.
Okay, I'll second.
Okay, and we have a second. And that is funded through that ESSER grant, ESSER 2.0 grant. All right, call the roll.
Mr. Holloway,
Yes.
Mr. Matheson,
Yes.
Miss Reese,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
Mr. Payne.
Yes.
I know that Dr. Long is very happy back there.
All right, move on. Item number 10, approve 6-year purchase of math textbooks for Johnson County High School. That's be the Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2 from, how do you say that? Cengage? Cengage in the amount of $64,821.74.
I'm going to turn that over to Dr. Long. It is, this year's adoption is the math textbooks, and he oversees that, so I'll turn that over to him.
So this item and the next one go together. I know you have to take them up one at a time. The last math textbook adoption was 8 years ago. It was extended for 2 years. So we've been with our current textbook for the past 8 years. They are changing the standards, not drastically. But the way this process works, the state formed a textbook committee and they pre-approved a set of vendors. And then each district forms a committee, and we formed, to my knowledge, the largest committee we've ever had. We had 31 teachers, including our instructional coaches and whatnot, on this committee. Every school and every grade level represented. So we vetted these materials. We used our instruction partners. Thank you. Math implementation. I apologize. I've got a throbbing headache. I apologize. The word was not coming to me. We used our math implementation grant with instruction partners. Our large committee, we came together, we vetted the materials, went through them to try to determine what would best help our kids learn. Math is a need when we look at our data, and we do have to adopt something new. So this is our recommendation for the high school one. And these are Tennessee approved materials. Common Core is gone. There's nothing about them having anything to do with that. I do want to emphasize that. So that is our recommendation for the math, for the high school age. We call it AGA, Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra.
So in other words, you're going back to the old math system we had, you know, Algebra 1, 2, Geometry, like we had a few years back.
Well, it's always been Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, but when we did the adoption 8 years ago, Tennessee was still considered a Common Core state, so there'd be nothing to do with any Common Core curriculum. Yes, sir.
Okay, since there's two items, we'll need to take them one at a time. Does anybody have any questions, comments? Or want to go ahead and make a motion to approve item 10 for the high school?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Mr. Robinson, make a motion to approve the AGA ones for $64,821.74. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Mr. Holloway, second. Call roll, please.
Mr. Holloway,
Yes.
Mr. Matheson,
Yes.
Miss Reese,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
Mr. Payne,
Yes. Now, item 11, that will be for K through 8. That's for Doe, Laurel, Mountain City, Roan Creek, and the middle school. And that curriculum is for $289,784. Any questions, or does someone want to make a motion to approve that one?
Is there any more information we need to know?
Just the only thing I was gonna say, that I wish I'd said sooner, but you all have in your packet, but just for the benefit of anybody listening, it's a 6-year adoption. They send us materials every year for the course of the 6 years. Some of them are hardcover. There's consumable workbooks for the kids. It also includes training for the teachers. And this one, the only thing I would say, we adopted in 4 grade bands, K2, 3-5, 6-8, and then the high school AGA. This one is K8 because we didn't make them, but just when we put the 31 people in the room, they all agreed that this was the best product for K2, 3-5, and 6-8. This company does not make a high school product, or we might have been tempted to look at it for high school too. But it's much more expensive than the other one because it covers 9 grade levels as opposed to just 3 high school subjects.
What's your pleasure?
I'll also make that motion that we approve
Okay.
this as well.
Mr. Robinson has made the motion. We approve that. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
And Ms. Reese, second. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Holloway,
Yes.
Mr. Matheson,
Yes.
Miss Reese,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
Mr. Payne,
Yes. All righty, item 12, 5-year plan.
Yeah, just our update on the 5-year plan, that the plan will be reviewed at the annual board retreat and will be approved at the next board meeting, which we will have Saturday. So we will be working on the 5-year plan on Saturday after lunch.
Okay. Budget update.
Okay, everyone has a small packet of finance information in front of you. The school department at the end of February was 38.1% of appropriations expended in the general purpose school fund, 28.7% of appropriations expended in federal projects, 59.5% of appropriations expended in central cafeteria, and Head Start, which is the fiscal year project, was 61.3% of appropriations expended for the month of February.
Hey, anyone have any questions for Tina? Not moving on. Director, what do we got here?
Yes, just a reminder, board retreat is Saturday. Board members, if you will be there by 9, and then administrators and department heads will be there by 10. And I did email you a copy of the agenda before I came in. So y'all will start at 9 in the high school library. U-Trust Support Staff Day is April the 6th. That we'll be honoring all of our support staff that day. Easter vacation. We won't see you again till after Easter. So that is coming up, and schools will be closed as well as central office on Good Friday and Easter Monday. Just a little update on the Mountain City Elementary Gym. If you've drove by, they've poured concrete. You know, they are working hard. They've gotten slogans from the staff. We've been doing a lot of little things that's going to happen. We've moved a storage building down for the PE because once school's out in May, they're going to be demolishing the gym. So we've had to store her stuff. All the summer school and summer events will be at Rome Creek this year because they will be in the gym at Mountain City, demolishing it and getting it ready to turn into classrooms. So we're very excited. If you haven't drove by, please do when you leave because it's still sunny and you'll see the progress. So that's all I have.
And they did say they were still on
track. Yep, still on track.
Okay, all right. Okay, it's got everything on the agenda. I'll entertain a motion. We adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
We are adjourned. Thank you.